Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to answer a couple of questions from someone who dropped comments in my latest video that I uploaded like a month ago, I guess. So if you're interested about selling in Canada as a Filipino, because we don't have much information about like all the details when it comes to how to sell online, where to sell, how to package, how to ship your products, then you may want to stick to this video until the end. So the first question is, where do I sell online? So when I was doing handmade products, I sold mainly in Etsy. So it's etsy.com/ca, I guess, for Canada. And you can sell like pretty much every marketplace you may want to, if they will accept you, because it's nice if we don't put our eggs in one basket. So if you have like items being listed in like Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, even Kijiji, you can do that. Yeah, Etsy, and there are also, yeah, even Amazon. But Amazon Handmade has an application process, so you may want to research on how to get into Amazon Handmade. But for the main part, I use Etsy. Why? Because during that time, Etsy was easy to get into. I don't have to like go into a process for like application and like Amazon. So you only have to like sign up, enter your information details whatsoever, and then you can start selling. You can start listing your products in Etsy. However, right now I think they have a different process. I heard, I don't know, like personally, because I haven't gone through the sign up process like lately, because I know that they changed a lot of stuff since there were a lot of scammers in the website, in the platform. So I think they are now holding your first couple of payouts until, I don't know, like there are stuff you can research on that. And also during the sign up process, I heard that there's like a small amount. I'm not entirely sure about this, but you can research. However, I would say that Etsy is easier to get into still compared to Amazon, because with Amazon you have to show your like the space that you create your products, your handmade products, like your process, how you do it. You take pictures and like submit it to them. You have to show them that you really made your products yourself, like it's really handmade, and you have a space that is dedicated for that. And the second question is, how long did I get my first sale after I opened my shop? This is entirely a different, like each person has different scenario when it comes to your first sale, your first order. It entirely depends on your product, your marketing, and the way you position yourself. Like, yeah, it's related to marketing. Like the way you list your products. Like if you know how to get like the customer to purchase your products, you know what I mean? Like you know how to take good enticing photos, you know how to make the customer purchase right away without hesitation, that kind of stuff. When there's like time limits, like promotions and all that stuff, it entirely depends on that. So my situation will really differ to your situation when it comes to your first sale. When I first had my sale on Etsy, it wasn't scrunchies. So if you know me or you have been watching my videos, you know that I have been selling scrunchies, or I sold scrunchies for like a couple of years, and it was like a good business because the profit margin is good, and it's easy to make. However, I didn't start selling scrunchies during the pandemic. When the pandemic first hit, I listed a face mask, and so my first sale was on face mask. Even though this is for a different entirely video, but I would just like you to know, like for context, that I also didn't start my handmade journey with sewing. I first created this handmade, not really entirely handmade, but I put two things together, earrings, jewelry, something like that. But yes, with Etsy, my first sale was face mask order, because during that time face mask was really a huge thing. Sales were just popping here and there, like every day you get lots of sales for face masks during the pandemic. So yeah, my first sale was a face mask. It wasn't a scrunchie. I just transitioned into a scrunchie after the pandemic. And yes, it will entirely be a different story, because face mask back then was really a hit. I know you heard about face mask before, when like during the pandemic. So if you list your product right now, and you don't really have to know everything, but you have to really do a deep research for your specific product, on how you would take your photos so that it will appear not entirely, because handmade marketplaces, you don't have to have a professional looking photo, just have a decent images or photos of your products, and it has to show everything that the product will offer, or if the product has features, if there's certain designs, or if there's like multiple colors in one item, you have to show all of it. For me, when I did my photography, or not just even a photography, during the editing process, you have to show or even write a detail on like everything that your product offers, or what the customer can get out of it, or something, what they will feel when they have the or use the product, something like that, because you don't want to leave something that will make the customer question about the product. So if there's certain sizing, if like for example sizing is a big thing to your product, then you have to put all the details about it: sizing, colors, features, everything. Because if there's like even a slight friction when it comes to purchasing the product, they will leave. And once the customer leaves the cart, if they don't purchase right then and there, there's like 80 to 90% chance that they will never buy the product. They will just leave their cart until like it sells out, or like until like they forget about it, or it will be like take it out of their cart. So yes, that's the most important thing to your listing. Never leave anything that the customer will question something about what you're selling. So put all the details. There is no over detailing, or I don't know what you call it, like over explanation or over description. Describe everything that your product can offer or may offer. The third question is about shipping or Canada Post, because lately Canada Post had strikes, not just like this year, but during my experience a couple of years, like every year they have a strike, and the strikes will go on for not just a month but a couple of months. I think the last time is like, I don't know, 3 months or more. No, not even, like 6 months or something like that. And when this happens, it's really hard to ship your products if you don't have plan B. If you don't live in a big city where there's like chit chats, or what else they call, like those like agents, not really the main company courier, but like they are like agents. I think that's what I understand they are. They're agents, and they're like the middlemen, where you give them your packages and they will ship the packages through like whatever companies they use. So yes, for like people like me who I live in a small city, so we only have Canada Post mainly. We only have drop offs and some pickups for like UPS, Pure Later, and like other companies, DHL. But only Canada Post for like there's like main office. So I only use Canada Post during my time. Well, I used UPS or something a couple of times because of the wholesale like platform that I use, where they don't use Canada Post. So for the main part, Canada Post was my like bread and butter when it comes to shipping. So yes, when they go on strike, and if your products are being mailed using the slot box envelope, where they go as a mailer, not really a package, not really a parcel, then you maybe in trouble because during the strikes they don't deliver the mails like the envelopes or the slot box, you know, the thin ones where it will be delivered as a mail. They don't do that unless it's a government check. However, if parcels, I heard, like, this is what I read online or somewhere during their announcements. I think I still receive their news when they have strikes, whatever was the progress of their strikes. So I think I read somewhere that they still deliver parcels because parcels are important, guys. And yeah, I think parcel they make more money on parcels. That's what I believe. Well, for parcels it's expensive in Canada, so yeah. And like litter mails, it's like for oversized, you know, the slot box ones, the ones that are thicker, not a regular envelope. I think it's $2 plus right now, and they only make a little bit of money on that. That's why they don't do that during the strikes. So yes, you should have a plan B. Otherwise, I've read during the strikes that a couple of shops had to go on vacation because they cannot ship their products. They cannot just receive orders and then cancel them. It's not a good. Although in my experience before, I have canceled a lot of orders when I had to go to the Philippines for an emergency. Well, I had to cancel a bunch of orders because I cannot, you know, I cannot fulfill it anymore. I cannot fulfill them anymore. And it didn't really have a negative impact on my shop. Although some people are like saying that if you cancel a bunch of orders that your shop will be like demoted or something, like your listings will be like put on the like few pages back, something like that. But in my personal experience, I didn't have that when I had to cancel a lot of orders. My shop was still the same. And yeah, like it's up to you. However, you don't want to do that. So if there is a Canada Post strike and you only use Canada Post, then you may want to consider putting your shop on vacation or deactivating some listings. You know, you have to decide whatever's best for you during these times. And if you want to hear what everyone else is doing as well, you can go into Facebook groups and a lot of people will be posting like, hey guys, what do you do, blah, blah, there is another strike, whatever. So yes, it's entirely up to you what you're gonna do when there's Canada Post strike and you only use Canada Post. But yeah, that's just my suggestion. Those are just the questions that I received in my latest video. However, I would like to add that you can also sell on wholesale marketplaces, and I only use one wholesale marketplace where I receive orders before, and it is the Fair Marketplace. It's FAIRE, fair.com. You have to sign up. I think it's easy to sign up as well. There's no like, you know, and then start listing your products. If it's handmade and you create the products as you receive orders, you have to consider your supplies, because if you receive wholesale order on this platform and it's for a bunch of products, like it's going to be multiples because it's a wholesale platform. It's for one order you will have to create a lot of products because it's, you know, wholesale, as I mentioned. So yes, you have to consider how many or how much supplies you have left, because if you're listing these items in Etsy as well and you receive a wholesale order, then you may use all of your supplies in that order, in that wholesale order. And so if you receive another order in Etsy, then you may have to cancel that. So like you have to consider this, like cross listings of your products. But it's nice over there as well in Fair, because for shipping is easier. They have their own, I don't know, I think they have an agreement with UPS and other couriers where if you ship them, you use their platform or system for shipping, and then it's way cheaper. It's way cheaper to ship. Like for example, if I ship this like box to UPS, I just go there by myself and then I say that, hey, I need to ship this so and so. Maybe I would need to pay like $50 or more for that one box. However, if I use their system, the fair shipping system inside your account, you would only need to pay like $14 or something like that. So yeah, it's way cheap. I think they have some agreement with these companies. So yes, that's just a bonus item or bonus something that I would like to share, because I know that when you start selling online, it's hard to know all the details all at once, especially when you're just starting out, because when you're starting out, there's a lot in your mind, a lot of things going on in your head, like what, why, when, where, all these questions. So yes, if you still have questions, I would love to answer them. Just drop them in the comments below, and I would like to share, mainly my experiences, because yeah, I've had a bunch of experiences selling online, and yeah, I can share those to you. And thank you so much, guys. If you have, watched the entirety of this video, then thank you so much. If you're still here, I hope you will still watch my future videos, and I'll see you again on my next one. Have a great day.